Divine revelation. 7 miraculous insights seen by the blessed, confirmed through prophetic vision in an unassuming village. Amidst lush green fields and cobblestone paths, Clara's life thrived in faith and family. Her laughter filled the air, a melody of devotion, yet her heart now trembled in fear. Her son, Luke, lay pale and frail, racked by an illness that stole his vibrancy. Clara's faith, once radiant, flickered as shadows of doubt crept in. Divine insights beckoned her to the church, where Father Thomas spoke words that fired up spirits and comforted hearts. "Hope, dear ones, is our greatest weapon," he would declare, as Clara clutched her rosary, seeking to anchor her soul amidst the storm. As nightly prayers ascended to the heavens, Clara felt an unearthly warmth engulf the church, with saints whispering gentle reassurances. Flickering candles illuminated the centuries-old stone walls, casting soft glows, a divine light bathing her in hope. One evening, as she knelt in fervent prayer, Clara sensed an otherworldly presence. The air shimmered, and a figure cloaked in radiant light appeared before her, revealing 7 miraculous insights. The first revelation spoke of faith, the unwavering belief that uplifted entire communities. The second sang of love, binding villagers together in acts of kindness. The third echoed, "Never lose hope." Hearts intertwined, stronger than any fear. Each insight unraveled like silk, wrapping Clara with warmth and divine assurance. But her neighbor, a logical skeptic, often posed daunting questions that pierced her spirit. What if praying isn't enough? Can one mere man's doubt extinguish the light of countless prayers? His words were thorns amidst the petals of her faith. Panic coursed through her veins, the unshed tears of a mother longing for her son nested upon her cheeks. Still, Clara organized a novena to St. Jude. The church welcomed the community, each villager a beacon of shared strength, voices united in powerful prayer. The scent of burning candles mingled with murmurs of hope. With every Our Father and Hail Mary, Clara felt a fervor building, as if the walls themselves resonated with divine assurance, a promise whispered from the heavens. Before we continue, I need to tell you about something important that's happening. YouTube has been making changes to the system, and many people are losing notifications from channels they follow. If you're enjoying the content, click the bell and mark all notifications so you don't miss the next videos. And if you can leave a like, it really helps me with reach. Seriously, it makes a difference. Oh, tell me in the comments where you're watching from. I'm always curious to know who's on the other side of the screen. Now let's continue. On the eve of the vigil, as the last rays of sunlight surrendered to night, Clara drifted into what felt like a sacred dream. Visions danced in her mind, where light pierced the darkness and Luke, laughing, ran in fields adorned with daffodils under a heavenly sky. Such vividness. She awoke, heart pounding, an inexplicable peace washing over her, yet the skeptic's words echoed. What if nothing changed? The night of the vigil arrived. The candlelight flickered like stars on earth. Murmurs grew as prayerful hearts gathered in unity. Abruptly, a gasping breath broke the silence. From the stillness emerged Luke, eyes wide and alive, radiant as the dawn. A miracle unfolded, a shock rippling through the crowd. Clara's tears flowed freely as joy erupted among the villagers. Yet, amidst the jubilant laughter and praise, Clara's heart beat with questions. She gazed at her skeptical neighbor, pondering if doubt could leave room for miracles. Was faith wishful thinking, or did something divine intertwine with their yearning? As Clara took in the overwhelming joy of the moment, she felt a new weight settle upon her soul, a call to explore the depths of belief and the mysteries of the heart. What more does God wish to reveal to her? As dawn broke, the village shimmered in a soft light, the air crisp with the freshness of a new day. Clara, still enveloped in the wake of last night's miracle, sat silently in the garden, watching the bees dance from flower to flower. Luke, now full of life and laughter, frolicked nearby, collecting wildflowers with a joyful smile. Her heart swelled with gratitude, yet a lingering curiosity tickled her spirit, like the gentle breeze that played with her hair. "Mother," Luke called, his voice full of bright joy. "Look what I found." He galloped towards her, petal-filled hands held high as if presenting treasures from a far-off land. Clara's laughter joined his, that sweet sound weaving through the fragrant air like a forgotten hymn found anew, but Clara's thoughts floated beyond the garden. The revelations still sparked within her, words nestled deep in her heart, echoing the night's tender assurances. She couldn't shake off the weight of her neighbor's skepticism. What about those still buried in doubt? Those who were in mourning and despair? The village may have celebrated a miracle, but somewhere in the shadows, hearts remained heavy. Driven by an impulse to share her newfound faith, Clara gathered the villagers under the ancient oak tree later that day. "Come, friends. Join me," she urged, her voice carrying a gentle urgency, "for I have been touched by something divine." Eyes bright with intrigue, the crowd formed, hoping to hear tales of wonder. Clara shared the glimpses of heaven she felt in prayer, how they illuminated darkness, and how faith had been a beacon to her during those tormenting nights. A murmur of encouragement rippled through the assembly, affirming her words. She spoke freely about how the 7 insights had shifted her perspective, shedding light over shadows. The villagers listened intently, some nodding, others visibly moved. Yet, amidst the crowd, the skeptic stood apart, a frown etched deeply across his brow. Still, Clara pressed on, "Hope is a gift. We must not hide it beneath doubts, but rather carry it forward." "What difference does it truly make?" he interjected, his voice heavy with a weariness that seemed to burden his very soul. "Hope alone cannot heal. We have our lives, our trials, untouched by every prayer." His words loomed like a dark cloud overhead, but Clara sensed a stirring in her spirit, a divine urging. "Hope," she replied gently, "is not empty. It's a cradle for miracles. And sometimes, we must let go of our burdens to feel the true weight of faith." The villagers exchanged glances, wrestling with their own inner struggles as Clara studied their faces. She could see the flicker of hope battling with doubt, the beginnings of faith igniting behind closed doors of hearts. "Let us gather again," Clara proposed, "and pray for strength together. Let us explore the depths of our faith and the power it holds." As the sun dipped low, painting the sky in shades of orange and purple, hands began to clasp together, forming a circle of unity, a tapestry woven with faith. There, under the oak tree, they prayed anew, voices lifting like incense rising before the heavens. Yet, as Clara felt the warmth of collective belief surround her, a single thought pierced through the praise. What other revelations awaited them? What divine wisdom was still to uncover in trembling hearts? As she stood among her neighbors, Clara's heart yearned to know more. The essence of faith was calling her deeper still, whispering the promise of further enlightenment. What truths will they discover next? As night descended, the village was awash in the soft glow of lanterns, casting flickering shadows across the cobblestones. Clara felt the weight of anticipation pressing upon her chest, as if the very air crackled with possibility. The prayers under the oak tree had sparked something within her, a divine flame fueled by each whispered desire for healing and hope. Gathered once more under the comforting embrace of the oak, Clara looked into the faces of the villagers. Their eyes shimmered with expectation, reflecting the stars above. "Tonight, let us delve deeper," she said, her voice steady and warm. "Let us ask not only for strength but for clarity." Luke clutched her hand tightly, his young heart sensing the sacredness of the moment. Around them, others linked hands, a blend of ages that carried stories both heavy and light. "God has moved among us," Clara continued, feeling the rhythm of her heartbeat sync with the unity of those present. "Let us be open to receiving whatever he wishes to share." The skeptic hung at the edge of the circle, wrestling with the conflict within him. Yet even he couldn't deny the palpable atmosphere of faith that enveloped them. Clara sensed this and directed her gaze toward him, a soft invitation in her expression. "Together, we invite his presence and await the blessings he has promised. You, too, will find something here." With that, they closed their eyes, and Clara took a deep breath, feeling the vibrations of their collective spirit. "Heavenly Father," she whispered, her voice barely above the rustle of leaves, "guide us and reveal what lies deep within us. Show us the truths we need for this journey." In the serene silence, Clara felt a gentle wave of warmth washing over her, as if a balm fell from above, embracing each heart like a tender lullaby. Images began to dance behind her eyelids, a mosaic of colors and emotions swirling, beckoning her to listen more closely. "Listen," a voice whispered, echoing through her thoughts like wind among branches. The first insight is unity. Boundless love can bridge all divides. Clara's heart quickened with the realization. She opened her eyes to share this revelation, knowing already the effect it would have, but hesitating as another piece of wisdom began to unfold. "Each soul carries a spark," she continued, glancing at her neighbors whose breaths were now synchronized. "And when we stand together, there is a brilliance greater than each of us alone. This is where miracles begin." A soft murmur of agreement rippled through the crowd. They were awakening to the warmth of each other's presence, recognizing the beauty of togetherness. Clara felt compelled to go deeper. "Next," she continued, "the insight is surrender. Surrender to faith is not weakness. It's the door to divine strength." The skeptic shifted. A fleeting shadow of doubt flashed across his face. Clara pressed on, sensing he was wrestling with a revelation of his own. "In surrender, we let go of the tight grip on our burdens, allowing space for grace to enter our lives." Now, Clara could see light begin to spark in the eyes of those around her. They were beginning to understand. The atmosphere thickened with an unnamed energy, urging them to explore the depths of their faith and the power within. As she shared the next insights, each revelation igniting a flicker of hope, she felt the spirit move with every word. The faith in the circle grew stronger, hearts opened wider, smiles flickered brighter under the starlit sky. Clara felt a pressing urgency as she took a deep breath. "Brothers and sisters," she said softly, a tremor of excitement in her voice, "there's more to uncover. What if this night leads us to understand God's purpose for our lives in ways we never imagined?" Hands tightened around one another, and the skeptic stood watching, the walls around him beginning to crack ever so slightly. "Do you feel it? The pull towards something greater?" Clara breathed, the words tumbling from her heart. As anticipation thrummed in the air like an electric current, Clara wondered, could this gathering lead to something more profound than anyone expected? What divine direction awaited them just beyond the veil of the night? A hush settled over the gathering as Clara took a moment to gather her thoughts. The flickering lanterns cast a warm glow, and the eyes of the villagers conveyed both eagerness and reverence. The air grew thicker, charged with expectancy, as if the universe itself was holding its breath. "Let us seek the third insight," she suggested, her spirit ignited by the hope shimmering all around her. "It is about purpose, our purpose in His grand design. Each of us is a thread woven into the tapestry of His creation." A collective nod moved through the circle. Clara could sense the questions forming in their hearts. What could their purpose be? How did each life contribute to the greater good? Clara raised her hands slightly, inviting them to focus. "Can you feel it?" she urged. "The pulse of His plan moves through us. We are not here by chance." The skeptic shifted again, uncertainty raking across his brow. Clara felt compassion for him, sensing his desperate search for truth, caught in the tug-of-war between faith and doubt. "You see," she continued gently, "when we explore our purpose, we uncover hidden gifts, blessings meant to shine brightly in the world." As she spoke, the voice inside her whispered of the powerful connection between destiny and service. The fourth insight is about service. Serving others brings profound joy. Her heart soared as she absorbed the warmth radiating from those around her. It was as if hands no longer simply linked them, but instead formed a living network of hearts and souls. With every word, Clara felt new levels of faith awakening. When we serve, we find ourselves. We become channels of His love, spreading hope to those in darkness. Like stars in the night sky, we illuminate the path for others. She paused, and the air filled with the soft hum of realization. Luke turned to her, his eyes sparkling with understanding. "Will we hear from him tonight?" he whispered, curious yet hopeful. "Indeed, my dear," Clara assured, her heart swelling at his innocent faith. We've invited his presence, and I believe he is eager to share more. Suddenly, a cool breeze swept through the gathering. It danced playfully through the branches overhead as if echoing Clara's words. The fifth insight is collaboration. Each village had its strengths, its calling. Together, we can accomplish incredible feats. Alone, we are like a single candle, flickering in the dark. But together, we become a blazing fire. Joyful shouts erupted as some raised their hands to the sky, celebrating the communal strength they embodied. Clara witnessed the sense of family building a spiritual kinship that transcended individual struggles. Yet, even as rejoicing filled the evening air, Clara knew the skeptic still stood at the edge, a silent observer amidst the worship. She met his gaze again, steady and sincere. "Even your questioning can spark transformation," she said, her voice carrying the message to him. The wind picked up, swirling around them, and Clara could feel the divinity wrapping them in love. "And now the sixth insight," she began, feeling her own pulse quicken with divine purpose. "It reveals the beauty of grace." At that moment, the warmth surrounding Clara was palpable, almost tangible. Grace is not earned, it is a gift. No matter our past, his love transforms the broken into beautiful vessels. As tears glistened on faces illuminated by the lanterns, Clara realized they were standing on the edge of something magnificent. Tonight could change everything. "Are you ready?" she pressed, urgency igniting her words. The skeptic hesitated, wrestling with the rising tide of emotion within him. Clara reached out, a bold invitation resting between them. Would he be willing to open his heart, just a crack, to feel the profound depth of divine love on display? The lantern light flickered as stars aligned, illuminating the path ahead. Clara took a deep breath, her spirit alight with possibility. Together, let us seek the final insight, the one that changes not just our lives, but the very world we inhabit. An excited whisper swept through the gathered souls, their hearts racing with anticipation. What profound truth awaited them, hidden just behind the curtain of divine mystery? As Clara stood at the center of the gathering, an electric charge ran through the crowd. Anticipation filled the air, like the moments before a summer storm. Every face glowed with the light of hope, the flickering lanterns echoing the eager hearts nestled beneath the stars. "Let us unveil the seventh insight," Clara announced, her voice steady, infused with an unwavering belief. "This insight transcends understanding. It is about love, the love that binds us all, unfathomable and divine." A murmured chorus of agreement crowned her statement, feathers of doubt and trepidation lifting from the hearts around her. Clara could sense the energy rising, uniting them all under the banner of shared faith. "Love is the essence of all creation," she declared, feeling the spirit swell within her. "It fuels our purpose, inspires our service, and nurtures our collaboration. Love is what ignites the fire of transformation within us." With each syllable, Clara saw the skeptic visibly soften, wrestling now not with doubt but with curiosity. His furrowed brow relaxed slightly, revealing the vulnerability of a heart longing for truth. Yet, love is not merely a feeling, it is an action. It demands courage. She continued, her tone rising like the swell of music lifting their spirits higher. "We must choose to love, even when it is hard, when it is inconvenient. In choosing love, we align ourselves with his creation." The villagers, caught in the cascading beauty of her words, began to nod in unison, their bodies swaying gently as if caught in the rhythm of a sacred dance. Clara noticed Luke, his small face illuminated with wonder, grasping the thread of love that intertwined through their gathering like an unbreakable bond. Love, you see, is less about a singular act and more about the journey we embark on together. Each decision we make has a ripple effect, a beautiful dance of interconnectedness, Clara said, gesturing broadly. Our love ignites the spark in others. It incites change. A simple act of kindness can alter the course of a life. The air thickened with understanding as souls started recognizing their shared responsibilities. A woman in the back exclaimed, "It's like casting seeds that grow into a garden." Her voice crackled with excitement. "Exactly," Clara affirmed, her heart swelling with warmth. And our garden flourishes not just from our hearts, but from His grace and love allowing it to bloom. As they stood collectively in their revelation, a light breeze washed over them, sweeping each heart with a gentle reminder that they were not alone. Clara felt the presence of the divine thickening like a fog around them. In this moment, I invite you to open your hearts wide. Let us ask Him to fill us with His love, that we may extend it boldly to the world. A hush fell again, solemn yet expectant. The villagers closed their eyes, surrendering their worries and fears. The skeptic found himself swept along, a quiet resolve gathering within him. It felt like standing on the edge of a vast ocean, hesitating to dive in. But the whisper of a distant wave compelled him closer. Clara led them in a simple prayer, each word reaching into the fabric of their souls. May our hearts be filled, our spirits ignited. Let us be vessels of your boundless love, O Lord. As the prayer fell into silence, Clara felt the tangible warmth of the divine embrace settling over them. Hearts opened wide in surrender and hope, and then a transformation began, a gentle stirring within the collective breath of the gathered. Colors seemed to brighten, the air shimmered with possibility, and she sensed profound glimpses of light darting through the darkness. Remember, she spoke softly, her heart racing with divine energy, we are not just seekers of insight, we are carriers of His love and light into every corner of our lives. As the lanterns flickered and the stars twinkled above, Clara pondered the weight of what's to come. Would they carry this revelation forward? Would their actions embody the profound truth of divine love? The night held its breath, pregnant with possibilities. Clara could feel something monumental on the horizon. Would this spark ignite a movement? What would manifest from their newfound devotion? Are you ready for the world to witness the power of love? She whispered into the spirit-filled air, eagerness dancing with uncertainty. The lanterns shone brighter, and Clara knew they were standing on the edge of a divine unveiling. What revelations awaited? Where would their journey lead them next? As the prayer lingered in the night air, a profound stillness enveloped the gathering. Clara opened her eyes, her heart pounding like a drum echoing in a silent cathedral. She looked around, her gaze landing on the villagers, each face lit with a glow that was more than just the lanterns. It was the glow of newfound purpose. Stay in this moment, Clara urged gently, her voice a soft caress against the tension of the night. Breathe in His love. Feel it filling you, overflowing beyond your own heart to touch those around you. With each exhalation, she witnessed the transformation happening in the crowd. Eyes glistened, shoulders relaxed, and inexplicable peace washed over the gathered souls. It was as if each heart was a tuned instrument, resonating with the melody of divine love. A chorus of breaths united, a harmonious echo of spirits rising in the darkness. The skeptic, his heart now wide open, felt something shift within him. No longer hesitant, he grasped the essence of Clara's message. What will we do with this love? He asked, his voice breaking the sacred silence. How can we carry it beyond this night? Clara smiled, grateful for his question, as it resounded in the hearts of many. This love must flow through our actions, she replied passionately. It must become a part of our daily existence. Through kindness, forgiveness, and understanding. It's in the small choices, offering a smile, lending a hand, listening without judgment. And what if we fail? A voice called from the back, trembling with vulnerability. Then we rise again. Clara proclaimed, her words lighting up the space around them. Each stumble is a lesson, each bruise an invitation to grow. We must remember we do this together, we support one another. Love binds us, and in our unity, we are stronger. The air crackled with energy as Clara's words sank deep into their spirits. It struck a chord within their hearts, resonating with the truth they had always known but often overlooked. Together, they were convening a force greater than any of them understood. Luke, brimming with determination, raised his small hand. "Can I help?" he asked, his voice filled with the innocence of sincere desire. "Yes," Clara exclaimed, kneeling to meet his gaze. "Your heart is pure, and your love is mighty." Every act counts, and you show us that even the smallest among us has a powerful role in this journey." A ripple of excitement passed through the crowd and faces brightened. Ideas began to flow, solutions emerging like blossoms from fertile earth. People started brainstorming how to serve their community, how to reach out to those in need, how to extend love beyond their personal spheres. Inspiration sparked like flint against stone, driving the momentum forward. Clara's heart soared as she listened to their plans, a patchwork of ideas interwoven with love and devotion. Each voice added another thread to the tapestry of their collective mission. With every proposal shared, a sacred trust began to form, binding them into a unified force for good. But then, just as a cloud steals the sun's light, a shadow of doubt slipped into her mind. "But what if we face opposition?" she wondered aloud, her brow furrowing slightly. "Opposition only proves our commitment," the skeptic said, now fully transformed with conviction. "If we stand firm in love, nothing can overcome us." Clara nodded, the warmth of his belief igniting hope within her. "Then let us be brave. Let us prepare our hearts for the challenges ahead, armed with the certainty that love is worth every effort." The air shifted again, charged with anticipation. They turned as one, gazing into the distance where the horizon met the cosmos. Excitement thrummed in their veins. They were standing not just on the brink of a revelation, but on the cusp of a movement. "Will you join me?" Clara called, raising her arms to the vast sky. A collective roar erupted in response, echoing like a mighty wind through the trees, a pledge of allegiance to a cause greater than themselves. The stars twinkled above as if in agreement. Clara knew, deep down, something miraculous was unfolding. What new step would they take tomorrow? What obstacles awaited? In the stillness of the night, wrapped in divine mystery, Clara closed her eyes once more, ready to embrace the journey ahead. Would they be ready to face the world with the love they had found? The time of reckoning was near, and their choices lay ahead, waiting to be made. As dawn approached, a soft light began to chase away the shadows of night. With the first rays of the sun spilling over the hills, Clara felt the gentle warmth embracing her. Light streamed through the branches above, illuminating their gathering place with a golden hue. It was a new day, bursting forth with promises of hope and renewed energy. Clara opened her eyes, feeling a surge of excitement in her chest. She could still hear the echoes of their fervent commitment from the night before, and now, standing at the threshold of a new beginning, she understood that passion must translate into action. "Today is our dawn of service," Clara called out, her voice vibrant and inviting. "Let us be the hands and feet of love in our community." Around her, the villagers stirred, awakening from their night of reflection. They looked at one another with a newfound intensity, as if they could almost see the invisible threads of connection weaving them together. The skeptic, whose heart had opened like a flower to the sun, stepped forward, his gaze resolute. "I believe we should start with those who feel forgotten," he suggested, lifting his chin with determination. "There are elders in our town who need companionship. They carry stories in their hearts, waiting to be shared." A ripple of agreement spread through the crowd. The thrill of new ideas sparked like fireflies in the gathering light. "Yes," chirped Luke, bouncing on his toes. "And we could also help at the school. The children need supplies and someone to read to them. They deserve our love, too." As Clara listened, her heart swelled with joy. Their thoughts were blending into a powerful vision, one that reached far beyond their individual desires. They were beginning to see the beauty of community, the magnificence of shared love, but then a hush fell over the group. An elderly woman, her voice fragile yet steady, spoke up. "What if we are mocked? What if our efforts are met with disdain?" Clara paused, the question heavy in the air. Yet within her heart, she felt a stirring. "Yes," she said slowly, "there may be criticism. There may be struggle. But remember, love is not just for those who welcome it. It thrives in adversity. Our responses to hardship show the true depth of our commitment." The elderly woman nodded, encouraged by Clara's unwavering belief. Hesitation began to fade, replaced by small smiles and murmurs of agreement. "We must go into this world, letting love be our guide, Clara continued, her voice growing stronger. Even if we stumble, we can lift each other up. Each act of kindness we offer is like a seed planted in rich soil. And love, as we know, blooms in unexpected places. Inspired by her words, the crowd began to discuss further plans. They were awakening to the larger mission ahead, and with every suggestion, the energy intensified. "Let us have a blessing of the hand service," someone proposed. "Let us gather together, lay hands on one another, and ask for divine favor over our actions." Amid the reaffirmed excitement, Clara felt a flicker of uncertainty creeping in. What if they stepped out in faith and somehow their efforts went unnoticed? She pushed the thought aside. She knew they were on the path. Everyone felt it. They were moving towards something bright and holy. As they exchanged ideas and stories, Clara's gaze wandered to the horizon. The sky was painted in shades of oranges and pinks, a spectacular backdrop for their mission. She sensed the divine promise painted across the canvas of the dawn. "Today, we commit ourselves, heart and soul, to be conduits of God's love," Clara said, her voice ringing out with resolve. Who knows what blessings lie in store? As they made their plan, Clara could not shake the feeling that divine revelations were about to unfold. She sensed they were tapping into something greater than themselves, something transformative. The sun rose higher, illuminating their faces, as if heaven itself was smiling upon them. The air buzzed with eager anticipation, and Clara's heart swelled with joy. What miraculous insights would they discover on this journey? Would they encounter others who shared their heart or harsh criticism instead? They were stepping into the unknown, drawn by the light of love, ready to embrace whatever came their way. As the sun climbed higher, its warm rays touched every corner of the village. Excitement simmered in the air like a gentle breeze, filling the hearts of all who had gathered. Clara looked around at the faces of her neighbors. They wore expressions of curiosity and unabashed hope. This was a day of new beginnings, a time for the actions that would blossom from the seeds of love they had planted. "Let us begin our journey by visiting the elders," Clara proposed, her enthusiasm infectious. The crowd surged forward, a wave of eager bodies moving as one toward the first house, an old stone cottage snuggled under a sprawling oak tree. The door opened before they reached it, revealing Mr. Thompson, a seasoned elder with a white beard that danced in the breeze. His eyes sparkled with surprise. "Good morning. What brings you all to my doorstep?" he asked, stepping outside, a warm smile spreading across his face. Clara stepped forward, the energy of the group behind her. "We've come to share love and companionship, Mr. Thompson. We'd love to hear your stories." His surprise melted into delight as he beckoned them in. Gathering in the cottage's cozy warmth, the elder shared tales of days gone by, days that were rich with laughter and lessons. The villagers listened with rapt attention, hanging on his every word, feeling the weight of history and wisdom casting a strong bond among them. As the stories flowed, Clara took notice of the way Mr. Thompson's eyes brightened with every shared memory. She whispered to Luke, "Look at him. His spirit is blossoming, just like the flowers in spring." "There's something about being listened to, isn't there?" Luke replied softly, his gaze fixed on the elder. "It makes each moment feel sacred." And indeed, the moments felt sacred. Every laugh, every sigh, every shared memory became woven into a tapestry of connection. Clara realized that this was their purpose, offering presence, love, and the gift of listening. After the visit, they moved towards the school, the energy palpable. The sun now hung high, illuminating their path as children congregated at the gates, their excitement bubbling over. Clara knelt to greet a group of eager little faces, and she felt a rush of joy course through her. Their laughter was like music, inviting and pure. "Would you like us to read to you?" Clara asked, her heart warming at the bright-eyed responses. "Yes!" they exclaimed in unison, the sound ringing in the air like a heavenly chorus. Gathered under the shade of a large tree, the villagers took turns reading, sharing vibrant stories that transported the children to far-off lands. Clara watched the joy bloom on their faces as they listened intently, their imaginations soaring. Here, in this moment, a holy light shimmered, illuminating the purest essence of her mission. Once finished, Clara glanced around, taking in the bright smiles and the twinkling eyes of youth. Suddenly, a shadow passed across her spirit. What would happen when they returned to the elders or to the school on the morrow? Remember, she encouraged, her voice steady but soft, we're sharing love, not seeking applause. Our garden flourishes not for the accolades, but for the realness of connection. In that moment, as if the divine was whispering through the rustle of leaves overhead, a sense of clarity washed over Clara. She felt that with each act of love, they were laying down stones along a path that would guide them into deeper revelations. Yet, as they left the echoing laughter of the children behind, a question hung palpably in the air. What awaited them as they ventured further in their mission? Would they face moments of challenge that would test their resolve or witness a manifestation of divine transformation? Clara turned to her community, her heart brimming with gratitude and curiosity. What shall we discover next? A deep hush fell over them, filled with expectancy. This was not just the beginning, it was only the first page of a greater story yet to unfold. As the villagers stepped away from the school, Clara sensed an electric anticipation in the air, a reminder that every act sparked more than just joy, it ignited change. The sun, now a radiant beacon in the sky, seemed to beckon them forward, urging them to discover what lay ahead. Where to next? She asked, looking at her friends, their faces filled with a shared eagerness. Let us visit the widows, suggested Anna, her voice soft yet firm. So many of them carry heavy hearts, and perhaps we can bring some light to their lives. I like that, Clara nodded, heartened by Anna's wisdom. They turned their steps towards the outskirts of the village, where the small homes of the widows stood nestled among the wildflowers. Each step felt purposeful, like a prayer being offered with each footfall on the earth. As they approached Mrs. Ellis' cottage, they were struck by the sight of her rosebush, vibrant and full of life, appearing to thrive in its solitude. Clara felt a gentle tug at her heart. The love Mrs. Ellis had poured into those roses, despite her grief, was a testament of resilience. Knocking on the faded door, they didn't have to wait long before it creaked open. The sight of Mrs. Ellis, her hair pulled back in a loose bun, brought warmth to the gathering. She looked at them, surprise softening the lines of her face, her eyes glinting with cautious joy. "Hello, dears. What a lovely surprise!" she exclaimed, stepping back to welcome them in. Inside, the atmosphere was a mix of sweet reminiscence and lingering sorrow. Clara sat beside Mrs. Ellis, placing a comforting hand over her own, seemingly fragile like glass. "We wanted to share some stories and laughter with you today," Clara said gently. As the conversation unfolded, Mrs. Ellis began sharing tales of her late husband, her voice rich with love and remembrance. The villagers listened, their hearts drawn in closer, leaning in as if her words were threads weaving them together. With every story, laughter mingled with a hint of tears, creating a melody that resonated deep within them all. "Time doesn't erase the love we hold," Mrs. Ellis shared, her voice steady. "It simply teaches us how to keep it alive in our hearts." The villagers exchanged glances, aware that a profound truth was being revealed, a reminder that love could indeed transcend all barriers. Clara felt the heaviness of grief lift, if only for a moment, as they united in shared emotions. Once their visit came to a close, Clara felt a whisper in her spirit as they left Mrs. Ellis' home. "What if we invite the widows to join us tomorrow?" she proposed, her voice trembling with hope. To plant seeds together, to nurture gardens of memory? Everyone nodded in agreement, the idea blossoming in the glow of their connection. No longer were the widows isolated. They would create something beautiful together. As the sun dipped lower, painting the sky in hues of orange and pink, Clara contemplated the day. Each exchange, each story shared, felt like holy moments strung together by the hand of God. Yet, one burning question remained, lingering in the depths of her mind. Would they witness more than just gardens blooming? Would they witness souls rekindling? Turning to her companions, Clara felt a mix of excitement and trepidation. What new insights await us tomorrow? In that silence, a collective breath was taken, filled with a hope that knew no bounds. A door to new revelations had opened, but what lay beyond it remained cloaked in sacred mystery. As dawn began to break over the village, Clara awoke with a heart full of anticipation. A soft light glimmered through her window, the first rays of sun spilling warmth into her home. The laughter of Luke echoed in her ears, a reminder that they were alive with possibility. Today was not just another day, it was a divine journey filled with intent. After a simple breakfast, Clara gathered her neighbors once more under the ancient oak, the spirit of unity palpable in the morning air. She sensed a miraculous tug in her soul, urging her to call upon the courage resting within each heart. Today, they would embark on something extraordinary. They would cultivate gardens of love in those who felt forgotten. "Good morning, beloved friends," Clara greeted, her voice ringing with excitement. "Today is our day to plant new seeds of kindness in our community. Let us go to the widows, the lonely, and the weary. Through love, we will transform despair into hope." The villagers cheered, their hearts swelling with the promise of purpose. Clara could feel the electric anticipation coursing through their ranks, reminding her of the stirring from the previous evening. Their boldness echoed her own inner calling. Today would not simply be about tangible deeds, it would be a demonstration of living faith, a collective reflection of divine love. Stepping beyond the oak's embrace, they trekked toward Mrs. Ellis' cottage, the sun guiding their path like a heavenly torch. Clara's heart quickened. What would they discover? As they approached Mrs. Ellis, who welcomed them with a smile touched by both admiration and surprise, Clara felt an overwhelming warmth radiating in the atmosphere. "Come in, dear friends. Let us share stories and spread some sunshine," Mrs. Ellis offered, stepping aside to allow the wave of villagers to enter. Inside, laughter mingled with the fragrance of blooming roses as stories exchanged became bridges connecting their souls. Lives intertwined, the essence of fellowship resonated deeper than ever before. As Clara glanced around, each face glowed, illuminated by a shared blessing. "Tell us about your favorite moments with your husband, Mrs. Ellis." Luke chimed in, his small voice illuminating the room with youthful energy. "Ah, my dear boy," Mrs. Ellis replied, her eyes sparkling with nostalgia. "He would dance in the kitchen. We would laugh while the dishes piled high and music filled the air." As the stories unfurled, Clara noticed something shifting. Every word, every giggle added more light to the corners of sorrow that seemed to gather in shadows. The villagers extracted remembrance from grief, weaving together the tapestry of love that remained unbroken. "Today, let us plant together, just as we planted these stories in our hearts," Clara suggested, feeling the urge to transform moments into actions. Once the stories found their end, Clara, with the villagers at her side, invited Mrs. Ellis to join them outside. They settled near her treasured rosebush. "We will cultivate this garden together," she exclaimed, digging hands into the soil that echoed with divine possibilities. Working side by side, each participant felt the physical labor mingling with an unseen force, a divine orchestration transforming despair into joy. Clara witnessed hearts entwine like roots beneath, and in that sacred space, love blossomed into an unshakable bond. Afterward, as they wiped the sweat from their brows and sat back to admire their work, Clara could feel the Spirit's presence surrounding them, wrapping them in a cocoon of peace. They were no longer just neighbors, they were family, bonded through the act of sharing. "It's amazing what can happen when we come together," the skeptic murmured softly, his voice a rich tapestry of sentiment, now reflecting belief. Clara turned and met his gaze, her heart swelling with gratitude. "Exactly. This is the beginning. Together, we shine brighter," she revealed, her eyes glistening with the energetic light of faith. With their mission unfolding, Clara felt emboldened, ignited by the witness of transformed hearts and joyful spirits. They headed towards the school where children awaited, echoing laughter ringing through the air like a divine hymn. Let us play with them too, Clara suggested, seeing the eager faces of their youth shimmer in the sun. They organized games, danced, and painted the essence of togetherness, joy embodied into every moment. That evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, Clara and her companions gathered once more under the oak. She looked around at the radiant faces, filled with divine assurance. "What have we learned today?" she asked, her voice soft yet powerful against the gentle night's air. "A garden grows when we nurture it with love," Luke replied, his voice ringing with certainty. "Yes, and our love transforms the world," others echoed, voices embellishing the growing tapestry of their shared experiences. Clara felt a wave of gratitude wash over her. In witnessing their growth, a profound clarity dawned within her. Love was meant to be lived, shared, and cultivated. They were all a part of something far greater than themselves, woven together by faith. As they prayed, hands clasped together, Clara felt divinity respond. Hearts became vessels of purpose, a canvas of grace unfolding before their eyes. "Father, let our love flow beyond these reaches. Teach us to embody your spirit." A whisper of peace enveloped them, and Clara knew in her spirit that this journey was just the beginning of monumental waves of change. They were orchestrating a movement deeply rooted in connection. As the last light of the day surrendered to the night, Clara looked at her neighbors and felt anticipation ripple through her soul. "Our village is alive with faith, now we testify," she declared. And with that, a collective cheer rose, a pledge to live out their faith in action. Their gardens would bloom, sprouting hope and love that would reach far beyond their small village. They were the bearers of light, destined to touch hearts and transform lives. "Let us go forth, sharing what we found," Clara urged, knowing their purpose would ripple out, leaving an indelible mark on all who crossed their paths. This was their mission, to plant seeds of love, nurture them through service, and watch as they blossomed not only in their community, but spreading like wildflowers across the globe. Together, they had become a movement of faith, hope, and compassion. Will you, too, choose to nurture love where you are? Don't wait even one more second. Subscribe immediately to the channel to not miss the next exclusive faith stories. Leave a like now to feed the algorithm and engage with our divine mission. Comment your reactions and testimonies about this ending and share instantly this video with at least 5 friends who need to see this magnificent manifestation. You need to support this journey because only true servants of God understand the importance of taking action. Let's be the vessels of light.